Hey, welcome back, my friend. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast. Have you ever said, how you do anything is how you do everything? If you have, I think you're wrong. So let me explain. I understand the concept of that we need to spend our life being excellent at doing things. We need to spend our life trying to get things right. But I think the concept of how you do everything how you do anything is how you do everything, meaning how you do the small details in life really matters, and it kind of tells the world who you are. I think if you have that mindset, it could be really messing up your relationships. It could be messing up your relationship with your spouse, with your kids. And I'm going to unpack that for you and tell you why I think you're wrong and why I think you need to master the art of just not caring. Because I think if you can master the art of not caring for certain things, your relationships are going to be much better. Now, if you've said that, how you do anything is how you do everything, you probably heard that from a mother or father, and they were probably pretty detail-oriented, and it probably resonates with you as a person. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't put thought into the details. There's some things in my life where I am extremely detailed. Like if you go to my work, go to my job, and you check out my gear. So we call it bunker gear. It's our boots, pants, gloves, helmets, jacket. My gear is laid out perfectly for me. Like I can tell you exactly where everything is. Like if you were to go into my right pocket of my bunker pants, I have both my gloves. My right glove is on the outside. My left glove is inside towards my leg, so that when I pull them out of my pocket, my right glove is already in my right hand, and I know my left glove. I'm not looking at it. I can do it with my eyes closed. In my left pocket, I've got 50 feet of rescue rope with a carabiner attached to it with a figure eight on a bike to a carabiner so that I can loop this rope around something and bail out in case of an emergency. I know in my right pocket I have got a pair of cutters. I know this stuff. When my radio is set up, it's set up perfectly so that when I go to grab the handle, I know the button's on the right side. It's detailed because how I do that is really important to me. The seconds that I save by having everything set up perfectly is really important. It's literally the difference between me being effective and ineffective, me being fast to get into a burning building. That is important. You know what's not important? Where I put my toothpaste in my locker at work, whether it's on the right or the left. I don't have a place that I put it every single time. I just put it in my locker. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't make or break my life. At work, we have ladders that are on the outside of our fire truck, and there's a rope called the halyard, and it ties the ladder. And it's how you raise the ladder. You pull this rope. I make sure that on my fire truck, it's an extension ladder. I make sure it's only tied on the base, because if you tie the rope between the base and the fly, you tie them together when you store it, which looks better. It actually looks better when it's tied like that. It looks more neat. It's the wrong way, because if you have to raise the ladder, you have to untie the rope first. And if you're doing it by yourself and someone's hanging out of a window, you pull on that rope, and if it's tied together, you can't raise the ladder till you untie it. So it's important. The details matter. But you know what doesn't matter? How my wife loads the dishwasher. It does not matter. And sometimes in our life, as men, we get into these things that we think matter, and maybe our parents told us they matter, like how you make your bed. Like your bed should have, you should have the hospital folds on the corner, and the sheet should come up, and then it should be folded back down. But guys, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. And if you're giving your family a hard time, if you're giving your kids a hard time because they're not doing something correctly, you need to reevaluate how you're looking at your life. You need to stop caring. And I know as men, we want to care for our family. It's important. I care for you. I want you to, succeed. But there's just some things in your life that you don't care. So I had to look at my life, and I had to analyze, are there things that I don't like, that I would prefer if everybody in my family did them different? And I come up with a few of them, and they're silly, but I know that there have been guys that have gotten into arguments over these things. So one of them, for the last 20 years, my wife is putting the toilet roll backwards. She sticks it on there, and maybe she doesn't even care, but usually it's going towards the wall, like the top of it. And so every single time I get in the bathroom, I take the toilet roll and I flip it around, and I have it coming out so it's coming out over the top towards the room. It's really silly. It's really stupid. I do this at work too. Like that, to me, that is the right way. But I refuse to comment to my wife that I feel like she's doing it the wrong way, because she's not. It's stupid. It's toilet paper. I don't know why I want it one way or the other. It's just something that I've developed, and that is what I want. But I will not talk to her about it because it is not a big deal. When I do the dishes, if I put the dishes away, I try to have it so that all the little plates are together and then all the big plates are together. I would love it in the silverware drawer if all the forks were in one bin and all the knives. And I'm not the OCD person. Like I definitely have messes everywhere. But the reason I like it is because when you're putting away the dishes, if all the forks are in one bin, you can grab all the forks at one time, pick them up and put them away in one. It's faster, right? It's just more efficient. It makes more sense. If all the little plates are together, I grab all the little plates at one time and stick them in the drawer instead of like picking through. It's faster because I don't love doing the dishes. I want to get it done. I want to get it over. And my family just likes to just throw everything wherever it goes. There's no thought whatsoever in how you put them in there. And guys, it doesn't matter. I have stopped caring. Now, if I'm loading the dishwasher, I try to do it the way that makes sense to me. And that's okay. It's a very valid, I feel like it speeds up my life. And it's weird as I've gotten older, like that stuff's important to me. Like I like having systems. I like knowing that like, if I was at work and my son needed a screwdriver, I would say, hey, go to the garage, go to my toolbox. The third drawer from the bottom is full of screwdrivers. That's cool to me. But if he were to put the screwdriver back somewhere else, man, and I got upset about that, I'm missing the point, right? You know, one, I'm so thankful my son went and looked for a screwdriver because that means he was fixing something. And that is what I want. I want him to be a young man that knows how to fix things. And just because he didn't put it back doesn't make him a bad person, doesn't make me a bad parent. Like I haven't taught him right. It's not that important. Some things I've had to let go are not necessarily things that bother me. It's some things that, like my wife, she likes to go to bed with a clean house. It makes her feel so much better if things at nighttime and she goes to bed if the dishes are put away. Now, I work an interesting schedule. Like today, I'm off the whole day. And I have the opportunity to clean as much as I want. And I could tell her, hey, leave the dishes in the sink. I will get them tomorrow when I wake up. I will clean the house. For some reason, that's hard for her. And it used to really bother me because I'd be watching TV and I'd want to maybe spend some time with her. And it's 9 o'clock at night and she's vacuuming and she's cleaning the house. And in my head, when I was a younger married man, it bothered me because I felt like I had the need to go help her, because I was being rude if I just sat there. And what I realized is that's something that she needs. That is something that bothers her, and it doesn't bother me. And I'm not going to let her doing that bother me. It was very strange. It was like, why are you doing this? You're making me feel bad because I'm not helping you. So what I decided is just to not care about that, right? My wife is cleaning up at night. It's something she needs to do for her mental clarity, so she goes to bed without, this on her mind, because she'll think about things over and over and over. And I've decided I'm not going to help her. After 8 o'clock at night, it's nighttime. It's time to chill out. It's time not to do anything. It's time to just relax. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to care that she's up cleaning, because that's what's important to her. Because I know in the morning, I will empty the dishwasher. I'll take the trash out. That's when I want to work. And so as a married man, as a father, you have to find the places that don't matter and let them not matter. I realize that some of you're like, yeah, okay, I understand that. It's definitely me. And some of you are like, yeah, I don't care about anything, whatever. So this probably isn't for you. And I also know that some of you have a wife that cares about too much, and it really bothers you. We made fun of a guy because his wife, when they first got married, complained about how he folded the towels. Now, I will say this, I fold towels differently than my wife, but she has learned, and she's told me that. She's like, I don't know why you fold the towels like that. This is how you should fold the towels, but I don't say anything because you are folding towels. Thank you for your help. So my wife she appreciates me, so I can't complain. But this guy's wife complained openly, enough so that we heard it. Like, he came to work and said, guys, my wife lit me up the other day because I folded the towels wrong. Do you know what's going on with that couple right now? They're getting divorced. Now, is it because she complained about him not folding the towels correctly? I think that's the start. I think that's the start of just little nitpicky things that eventually you can't get over. And while you can't control your wife, you know what bothers her, you can't control that. you can control you. And if there's something you're doing to your wife or to your kids and it just shouldn't matter, leave it alone. Let it not matter. I think it's really, really important to just realize that they are different human beings that do things differently. Now, obviously, we want our kids to have clean rooms. We're going to mandate at some point during the month, all of our kids will clean their room at least one point. And then when it gets trashed again, I'm not going to get super upset. I'm just going to say, hey, it's time to clean your room again when it's that time. And I'm not saying that you can't enforce some kind of standard like, hey, we shouldn't leave, food on the floor for 3 days. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if someone is doing something that's contributing to the house and is different than what you would like them to do it, leave it alone. Let it go. And if you're currently, for lack of a better word, suffering from a spouse who's demanding you do something that you think is dumb, you have two options. One, and it's kind of like, it's where I'm at with not cleaning up at night. Having a conversation with your spouse, listen, at 8 o'clock at night, I need to start winding down. If I start cleaning, I'm going to lay in bed, be wired. I need this hour and a half, 2 hours to just chill out, turn my mind off. Had a lot going on today. But in the morning, when I'm ready to go, I will help. I will clean. I'll put the dishes away. I will, put the clothes away. I'll do that in the morning when I'm ready to go. And if you are okay with that, I'm not going to help you. So one is communication. I think that's the best. I think me communicating to my wife, letting her know that, hey, I need this time at night. I'm not going to help you, vacuum the house at 9:30 at night. I'm not saying like, hey, I think you're crazy. It is what it is. This is what you need out of life. No big deal. If you can't communicate with your wife like that, then maybe for her sake, you do help. If it's something that, drives your wife nuts that let's say she can't go to bed unless all the towels are put away. This is where I think the man up and be a man really comes in. You don't want to do this. You don't like doing this, but maybe because you love your wife, you'd be willing to do something that you don't like to do or you don't even want to do. I put this in the column of going to Target. I don't enjoy walking around Target, especially when we don't know what we're getting and we just go out just to get out. I don't enjoy that at all. I would pick 100 different places before I pick Target. But I've picked my wife. And in order to spend time with my wife and to make my wife happy, she likes going to Target. So it has nothing to do with Target, but it does have something to do with I like to be with my wife and I want my wife to be happy. And when my wife is happy, my life is better. So therefore, I go to Target. So you might have to decide as a man where it might not be fair. You might not enjoy this. You might think it's dumb and stupid. Stop caring whether it's dumb or stupid and just maybe you fold the towels the way she wants you to fold them, even though it doesn't make any sense. I fold my towels. I think it's logical. I fold them in half long ways or wide to narrow, and then now they're narrow, and I fold them in half twice. That makes sense to me. She folds them in thirds. It doesn't make sense. I don't even know if I could fold them like that because it doesn't make sense to me. But make your wife happy. Be the man of the house and suck it up and just do it. You can do that. I'm not saying compromise values, right? I'm saying maybe if this really bothers your wife, be the bigger person and just do it their way. And by being the bigger person, you can let them do it their way. I think as guys, we have the ability to bring peace to our house. Most guys are probably, I shouldn't say this. I guess I don't know. In my life, I feel like I'm a calming person. I have chaos. I have, I understand all this chaos. So I bring calm to my life. And I think it's important that you try to make your world better. And maybe that's by not caring about certain things. And then if some family member really does, maybe it's caring even though you don't. Maybe it's putting that time and effort even then you don't. And it might not even be actions. It might not be actions that are annoying you that your spouse or kids do. It might be the things they say. Something that bothered me for a while, and I had to get over it, was my wife would say, like the kids' room, friends came over and they trashed the room. She would say, "Oh, this room is disgusting." And that bothered me for a while because in the world that I live in the fire department, I've been to disgusting houses. My house has never been disgusting. One, because my wife loves to clean. It's her love language. She enjoys vacuuming, right? It's a pastime. So my life here in my house has never been disgusting. I've stepped over human feces that is covering the floor where they haven't had running water, so they're going in a 5-gallon pail. Yeah, That's the world I've seen. I've seen 6 years of trash that we're climbing over. We can't even open the front door. We have to climb through the window because there's so much garbage, literal garbage, human waste that we climb over to get to someone who's unconscious. Hoarder, dead mice, dead cats, dead everything, disgust, absolutely human filth. And then I come home and my wife's complaining about my kid's room being disgusting because there's some toys on the ground. What I had to do is step back and say, and because I could easily say, you have no idea what disgusting is. I'll tell you what disgusting is. I've seen, and I just tell her what I told you. That is not helpful, right? And that's just the word she's using. I don't think she actually means it's disgusting. She's just saying that the room's a mess. It's causing her stress. She doesn't like to be stressed. I don't like when she's stressed. So don't let that bother her. Or I'm not going to let that bother me. And I'm also not going to correct her because it's not helpful to like, yeah. And I think maybe you get this when you go to work, you're a manager, super stressful day, projects coming up, boss is breathing down your neck. You come home and your wife's complaining about your kids, they got they made slime and they got it on their clothes. And they're complaining about this. You're like, this is the tiniest stupid thing that you're complaining about. Well, it's not tiny and stupid to them because they just bought that outfit and they, went out of their way and they told them not to do it. Just listen. Oh man, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's terrible. That's, and not belittling. Like, truly listen. Understand that they're not happy with the current situation. They don't care that your project's not on time. That doesn't affect their life one bit whatsoever. But they're going to listen to you complain about your boss. So listen to each other. Take time to understand that things are going to affect you different than they affect her. Things are going to affect your kids different than they affect you. When your kids complain about, I have no friends, just listen to them. They don't need you to say, yeah, you do. You just had this. At the moment, their feelings are, I don't have any friends. Now, a good conversation there is, do you think that's real, or is that just an emotion? Are you just feeling that, or do you actually believe that you have no friends? Ask them the question, because that's a much more powerful statement than saying, yeah, you do. You have Elliot and you have Nolan. You're like going down the list of people that they're friends with. That's not what they need. They're having an emotional response to something that's bothering them. So listen to the emotional response. Ask them to clarify that and ask them, is that a feeling or is that a fact? And then you can talk to them, have a good relationship with them, as opposed to just saying, stop being emotional, stop being dramatic. Well, that's not helpful. It's kind of like yelling at someone to calm down. Never in the history has it ever helped for someone else to yell at somebody to calm down. It doesn't work. You listen, you get them to get out of their frame of thought. That stuff's important. So the moral of the story, stop caring. Just don't care for the things that don't matter. How you do everything is not how you do anything, and how you do anything is not how you do everything. You can do things that are important well, and you can do things that aren't important however you want to do it and however they want to do it. So lighten up a little bit. Have fun with your family. Don't get stressed out about how they put the dishes away or which way the toilet roll goes. And life will be better. And that's what ultimately I want for you. I want you to have a better life. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title Podcast, and I will talk to you later.